Please listen to this teaching with the motivation, thinking for the benefit of all sentient beings, as infinite as space. I want to attain the state of, or I want to establish all of them in the state of omniscience and highest enlightenment, the state of perfect Buddhahood. And for this purpose, I'm going to receive the nectar of the teachings and put them into practice. So please have this motivation and also the conduct that goes along with this motivation.
That's 다 간섭을 취해지는 바라다 망보 삽신 야채라 망보 휴게는 다다리 Ngondro ke Rinpoche Tresires.
And among all the profound and vast Buddhist teachings, the topic today is Ngondro, or the preliminary practices.
Ngondro Tachidang Ngondro Sita Che Mushi Nyamlen Cheage Ngondro Dene Kasati Ngondro Tan Nyamlen Cheage Chan Ngondros and this Ning Taras.
The reason that we call the Ngondro, or preliminary practices, that is because they go before the main part of the practice, or the main practice.
Okay, Nyamle Nangtang Nyamle Chatang Hakawaina and in Ngondro Roda Sojang Sotratan Chansemtang Sangadan Chebe Tan Nyamle Len Duva Chasawashi Yoris.
But if we know how to practice, then this Ngondro practice can be something that contains all the key points of practice of the level of individual liberation and the Bodhisattva trainings, and also the secret mantra tradition. It condenses all of them in a concise form. So we shouldn't consider these preliminary practices to be some small thing. So first we inspire our minds to practice the Dharma with the four thoughts that turn the mind away from Samsara and towards the Dharma. And then we go for refuge, and that's the practice of individual liberation. And the Bodhisattva practice is the cultivating or developing bodhicitta, and of course we have that practice here too. And all practice that we do is for gathering the accumulations and purifying obscurations. And so here we have the mandala offering and the Vajrayana recitation and meditation that go along with that. And then we have Guru Yoga, and the essence of the secret mantra, the essence of what we're trying to accomplish, the essence of the deities of the three roots, actually the essence of all peaceful and wrathful deities is the Lama, and we're never accomplishing any practice separate from the Lama. So with all the practices of the 4 or 6 classes of Tantra and all the practices of the peaceful and wrathful deities in those 4 or 6 classes of Tantras, all of those practices are never separate from the Lama. So we have Guru Yoga here that goes along with that. So this practice has all the key points, all the profound key points of secret mantra practice contained within it. With all the creation and completion stage meditation practices that we do as the part of the main practice, there are profound practices there, but we can't be liberated just through doing those practices alone. We have to rely on a lot of other methods. But if we take Guru Yoga as the heart of the practice, then we don't have to rely on any other methods. We can gain accomplishment just through that. So the Ngondro preliminary practices are a practice that's very easy and convenient to do, but it contains all the important points of secret mantra practice. Whatever practice we do, we need to understand a little bit about the basis, the nature of the basis, which is the 2 truths. In the Sutra vehicle of characteristics, there's 2 different ways that they lay out the 2 truths. In general, they say that appearances are the relative truth and emptiness is the ultimate truth, and so that's how they describe the 2 truths. And the other way that they describe the two truths is when the way things appear and the way things are in disagreement, then that's the relative truth. And when the way things appear and the way things actually are agree with each other or are in accord, then that's the ultimate truth. So that there's this other way of establishing the two truths where we talk about the two truths in terms of the way things appear and the way things actually are.
남시 속쪽이 윤도 다다가랑서 나게 치 강이마 대라야다 나와 근접된 바스네 들으시야기래.
When we talk about the relative truth of appearances, we're talking about how everything that appears to all the 6 collections of consciousness, all of that appearance is the relative truth.
그래서 거래기 남수다 평감 개체 다들의 되게 망부시 되게 다 야청부들의 이야기를 했어.
And in that context, we talk about like a lot of things, like the aggregates and the elements and the sense sources and all those kinds of things.
다통받은 답에 대한 바세야니 나와 대달 나와 있나양 전에 나한석이 르기 다 대단 디오냐베게 짐바 슈데티 전에 전에 마인바 정신 매바지 랑 나와 있나양 나와디 나와 따르 대바 마인 바치라 하고야 되는 단담 대바스.
And then the ultimate truth of emptiness is all these appearances that we have clinging to, thinking that like such and such things exist. When all of that appears, but we don't think that it's real, or while it continues to appear, when we don't have any idea that it exists in any real way, that's the ultimate truth of emptiness.
나 잠보 나와 대기 지나서라 느낌 개치게 말했어.
Just mere appearances can't harm us in any way.
나와는 짐바슈네 디당 디오 상가가 나서로 로 마스 슈청보 잡고지 열었어.
But we have this clinging to appearances, thinking that like this thing's real and that thing's real, that kind of thing.
단나와는 짐바 잡고슈네 될었다. 현네 디 모마레 상가가 나서로 로 견신치 열었다. 디그 말이랬어.
So we have this really strong, intense clinging, thinking that things are real, and this is what's a problem.
Pena 짜지라 상기는 dingamsu pena kalawada pena 지다고지 배차샤기는 dingamsu 지제 상방이 딱 맞을로 슉청부여res.
If we think about something that's metal, like a knife, we have a really strong clinging, thinking that like this object is a knife. And everybody in the world would agree with that.
When it's in a tea, say, tea, chaggy gangna, Muletanegi, Tartan tells of the kind of Troyamaris.
But really, this iron or this metal knife isn't established as real in any permanent or stable or like significant way.
The Maranzogi, Ling
It's just a name we've given to something, this word knife. So after a few years go by and this knife breaks, then we can turn it into something else, like we can make needles out of it. And the fact that we're able to do this shows us that the idea that this thing was a knife is false. Screwdrivers? Drill that. Sorry, not needle, but like an awl or something to punch holes in things like wood. So that was the word just before, so we can turn a knife into an awl or like a pick. And then, so after a few years of using that awl, then we can break it down and turn it into needles. And then we can break those needles down and turn them into yet another different thing. So we can break a knife down and break it down into a bunch of needles, and then we can gather up a bunch of those needles and turn them into a spoon. And everything is the same way. Everything that appears to us in the world, it doesn't cause any problems just by the fact that it appears. We can't change the fact that these things appear, but they don't truly exist at all in the way that we think of them, clinging to the idea that like this is this thing and that's that thing. So the real meaning of emptiness is that we can't change anything about appearances. We can't And so without doing anything to try to change or alter appearances, we have to recognize that they don't exist in any inherent way, and so if we can understand that, then we have some understanding of what emptiness means.
Then Pumba Lamegia, Child Tona, one Guru Chachi, then Pumba de Rajin, Tombani, to then Paps on Hinaya, Tarun Pumba Korangi, one Guru Chawadi, the Karsota, Guru Zananeva, the Ronka, one Guru Chachi to be.
So, for example, the vase that a lama uses to give an empowerment, even if we've determined that this vase is in fact emptiness or is empty by nature, it's still able to perform all the functions necessary to give the empowerment.
Yes. It was a Namyanta, Tombani said it was Ranshin, the Matruba, the Coco Veremado, Tomba Nis, the Castle, Napa Mejima, Tomba Changshe, the Holy Koyamares.
So we should always remember that emptiness means that things don't inherently exist in the way that they appear. We shouldn't think that emptiness is like a complete lack of anything at all.
Then was a Corvada Yanelin Chukang, the Kainaya, that Demaniki, Manglola, Matsupashiyama.
And in all the phenomena of samsara and enlightenment, there's nothing that's not included within the two truths.
Rakpachina Shashagina, Korweg Navadazo, Reshitat, Reshik Kontan, Reshik Chigina, Korweg Navadazo, Kunzop Shani, Tahasan Yamdeki, Yamandi, Children of Tombas, Lapchobris.
And in a kind of rough sense, we can say that all the phenomena of samsara are the relative truth, and then all the phenomena of enlightenment are the ultimate truth. If we talk about it in a very like coarse, temporary kind of way.
And Yangelin Devi Che Hinayang, Dini, that Tagiti, Rapaj in Shesonreta, Chawaching, Yangelin Devi Che Koran Ryan, Dini Zunjugi Rashin Res.
But from a more refined point of view, even all the phenomena of enlightenment are the unity of the two truths.
Then, Aranzodaji, Yanelindi, Church Samata, Tatoba, the Kusum, La Mandiba Yamarakin, the Kusum, the Naksha, and Chuku, the Duset Sama, Tarantan, the Badan, Java Yabadan, and Zukuni, the Church Sama, Konzoptan Java Yava,
So, all the phenomena of enlightenment can be condensed into the three kayas. And so we have the Dharmakaya and the form kayas. And everything that's included within the Dharmakaya is the ultimate truth, and everything that's included within the form kayas is the relative truth.
Chugu Korana, Chugu Rajin Marubicha Korana, Dayam, and the Machado, Chugu Koran, Chugu Karsore, Chugule, Zukuni Nawa Manga, Chashigitsu to shoot the body. Consultant Java Uris.
And then within the Dharmakaya itself, the aspect of the Dharmakaya which is its emptiness and its complete lack of inherent existence, we can call that the ultimate truth. And then the fact that it has the potential to manifest the form kayas within it, we can call that the relative truth. And the form kayas are the same. The form kayas, the Sambhoga kaya and the Nirmana kaya appear, but this fact that they appear unceasingly is the relative truth, and the fact that they don't have any inherent existence is the ultimate truth. And all the other phenomena of enlightenment, like the Buddha fields and celestial palaces, and all the like inconceivably vast and profound like phenomena of enlightenment, they all appear, and this appearing aspect of all of them is the relative truth, and then the aspect of them in which they have no inherent existence at all, that's the ultimate truth. And all the phenomena of samsara too, all of the deluded appearances which appear to us, from the perspective that they appear, or the fact that they appear continuously is the relative truth, and the aspect of them in which they don't have any inherent existence, and they don't exist at all in the way in which they appear, like they don't have any truly existent essence to them. That's the ultimate truth. And when we're ordinary sentient beings suffering in samsara, then we're reborn somewhere within the 6 realms of samsara, and in all the sentient beings in all the 6 realms of samsaric existence, all have to be born and die. We have this uninterrupted stream of birth and death over and over again. So all beings in the realms of existence have to be born and die. And birth in this context is the relative truth and death is the ultimate truth. We get up and we lay back down and go to sleep. And in a rough sense, this is also the two truths. So when we are awake and interacting with the world of appearances, that's the relative truth. And when we go to sleep and fall into like a non-conceptual kind of state, that's the ultimate truth. And so all of the appearances we experience when we're awake are the relative truth, and then all the appearances we experience while we're asleep are connected to the ultimate truth. And also, if we think about things in a coarse way, there's men and women, and men are more strongly connected to the world of appearances, and then women are more strongly connected to emptiness or the ultimate truth. But all of the appearing phenomena of the world of relative truth, there's none of them that aren't also emptiness, that don't have the emptiness of the ultimate truth. But appearances appear unceasingly while being emptiness, while being empty of any inherent existence. So all appearances, everything that is appearance, is empty and without any inherent existence. And emptiness has the potential for all the vast, infinite appearances of the universe to appear, and so this is the unity of the two truths. If we think about all the vast phenomena of the universe, even Mount Meru, which we say is so grand and so tall, even Mount Meru, the king of mountains, is the unity of appearance and emptiness.
대반이 김내출 장산이어스.
And even the smallest, finest atom, finest subatomic particles have the two truths of.
그래서 다 나의 최 여도죠 이노죠 탐지 라신에 바임바다 라신 메신데양 되면 나와 나 저서 셔기와 디디되는 아주 고고 그래.
So we have to understand that everything, all appearances, everything that appears is emptiness, and emptiness has within it all the appearances.
이때 이니즘 쪽이네 로생게르디 하나다 대가 친구들 다네 남동게 대만이기 내출 때문에 파당들에.
So this is the way the two truths are. This is the way that we establish the two truths in the tradition of, in the Vajrayana, or the Great Vehicle tradition.
다들 배라고도 샤이는 배는 주인한테 나와나 신나는 나라 주인한테 나와디 나와 몸을 레디게 말에 있나야 나와니 나한테 나와다도 라신의 마주바임바 주인한테 나왔다고 배샤나 거는는 네 나방송 저기한테 relauschade 상고.
We can understand this through the example of the moon appearing in water. The moon that appears in water appears, but it doesn't actually exist. It's not actually the moon. So it appears, but it doesn't exist at the same time. So I think if we can understand this example, then it might make it easier to understand the way that the two truths are. And appearances are without any inherent existence, and of course emptiness is also without any inherent existence. If we think that appearing phenomena don't exist, but emptiness is something that does exist, then that's a kind of idea that contradicts the way things are. So we have to understand that emptiness too is without any inherent existence. A lot of people are shocked when they hear that emptiness doesn't exist also. So I think that if we cling to the idea that emptiness is something that exists, then we don't really have the correct view. That kind of idea will become something where we cling to emptiness as an object. Thinking or clinging to emptiness as an existent object is a really bad path to go down.
동반이나 따니나 시합충은 봉화를 주르스네. 디송여레스. 동반이나 따니나 그래서 다 동이라 동반이 들한테 따니에서는 니에서는 들어. 다 가나오라. 따니에서는 따야 돼. 벌써는 세면로. 다 가서 동반이 동이 들어나 검소 따서 따기로. 이렇게 따야 돼. 깨셔서는 그네 시랍 중앙도 통로 그래서 시랍 중앙도 믿어서
Nagarjuna said that looking at emptiness in the wrong way can cause the downfall of people of lesser intelligence. So meditating or thinking about looking at emptiness in the wrong way can be a huge mistake, or can be a huge source of problems for people with less intelligence. So that was just a little bit about the two truths of appearance and emptiness. And then there's the two truths of the way things appear and the way things are. And this two truths of the way things appear and the way things are is a teaching that's connected with the final turning of the wheel of Dharma of the Buddha's teachings, and it's also very strongly connected with the secret mantra tradition. So if we want to think about things in this way, then all of these phenomena that we experience, all these phenomena that appear like the aggregates and elements and sense sources, all of these things, the way they appear and the way that they actually are, or the way in which they actually exist, don't agree with one another. But the sentient beings who experience all of these aggregates and elements and sense sources, because all these sentient beings have Buddha nature, then when they practice the path, they can get to the point where the way things appear and the way things actually are agree with one another. So the secret mantra teachings are very vast, but in terms of Mahayoga, all of the aggregates and sense source, all the aggregates and elements and sense sources of the way things appear to us, if we can see them as the way they really are, as the celestial palaces and Buddha fields and deities, then the way things appear and the way things are is in agreement. And then in terms of the Anu-yoga tradition, within our body, all of the channels and elements within our body have inconceivable celestial palaces and hosts of deities within them, and all of these are of the nature of the unity of bliss and emptiness. And if we can see things in that way, then the way things appear and the way they are in agreement. And then in the great perfection tradition of pith instructions, we say that all phenomena are included within the fundamental nature of mind, and if we can see things in that way, then the way things appear and the way they are in agreement. So in the Mahayoga tradition, we establish that all phenomena of samsara and enlightenment are present within our physical body. And then in Anu Yoga, we establish that all phenomena of samsara and enlightenment are present within our channels and elements. And then in the Great Perfection Pith Instruction tradition, we establish that all phenomena of samsara and enlightenment are included within the single sphere of awareness. In the Great Perfection Pith Instruction tradition, they say that all of the phenomena of samsara and enlightenment are included within the three kayas. So that's just a little bit about the two truths of the way things appear and the way things are. But if we really wanted to go into like full detail on this topic, really a lot could be said about it.
Dudjom
So if we want to practice Ngondro with the two truths of appearance and emptiness, then from the very beginning of it, when we do when we contemplate the four thoughts that turn the mind away from samsara and towards the Dharma, when we're thinking about the precious human rebirth and the impermanence of life and karma, cause and effect, and the faults of samsara, all of this is connected with the relative truth of appearances, but either afterwards or from the very beginning, if we can meditate or have the consideration that all of this is without any inherent existence, then we can practice with the two truths of appearance and emptiness together. And then when we do refuge, we visualize the field of refuge in front of us, and we take these objects of refuge as and like pray to them and take them as our protector, as our guardian, that kind of thing. That's doing the refuge practice according to the relative truth. And so taking the three jewels, taking the objects of refuge as our witness and repeating the refuge prayer is the way that we go for refuge that's common to all the Buddhist vehicles. And if we go for refuge in the three roots of the Lama, the Yidam deities, and the Dakinis, then this is the way of going for refuge that goes along with the secret mantra tradition in general, and especially Mahayoga. And there's also a way to go for refuge by meditating on the channels and winds and tikles or bindus within our bodies, and if we do that, then that's the Anuyoga version of going for refuge. And if we go for refuge in the empty essence, the clear nature, and the all-pervasive compassion, then that's the Ati Yoga way of going for refuge. And the Ati Yoga way of going for refuge is taught in the or is shown in the trauma practice. When we go for refuge in trauma, we say Shinam Hundru Dzogpache Trukor Dolchir Kyalsachi. So the appearances of the basis, the spontaneous presence of great perfection. I go for refuge in order to reverse delusion in regards to them, or something along those lines. But in general, when we go for refuge, taking the three jewels, the objects of refuge, and taking them as our witness, and going for refuge in them until we attain the essence of enlightenment, that's the relative refuge. And then resting in meditation with the recognition that all of that is without any inherent existence is the ultimate truth. And with the mandala offering, it's very similar. We offer the mandala to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that we visualize in the sky in front of us, and that's the relative mandala offering. And then having the recognition that there is no one making the offering, nothing being offered, and no one being offered to is the mandala offering connected with ultimate truth. And then for the Vajrasattva recitation and meditation, visualizing Vajrasattva at the crown of your head and reciting the mantra and purifying all your negativity and obscurations. All of this is the Vajrasattva meditation that corresponds to the relative truth. And then recognizing that none of that has any inherent existence, recognizing that all of the negativity and obscurations and the object of purification and the one doing the purification, recognizing that all of that is without any inherent existence is the ultimate way of doing it. And the way that we do the confession and purification with the four powers is a practice that is common to all the Buddhist vehicles. And then when Vajrasattva dissolves into us and all appearances are the form of Vajrasattva and all sounds are Vajrasattva's 100-syllable mantra, and when all our thoughts are Vajrasattva's wisdom mind, then this is a practice that is common to the secret mantra vehicles in general. And then it's the same for Guru Yoga when we visualize ourselves as Vajrayogini and we visualize Guru Rinpoche clearly, and so when we do this, have this clear visualization, and when we recite the mantra, all of this is practice according to the relative truth. And then at the end, when we receive the four empowerments and we mingle our mind with the Lama's wisdom mind and rest in meditation in that natural state, then that's meditation that corresponds to the ultimate truth.
The Telestina, Debanyigi, Nanglova, the Debanyig and the Dune, the Yamsle, Lenguisares.
So, not just this Ngondro practice with Guru Yoga and everything, but whatever Buddhist practice we do, all of it we have to practice in a way that that we're including it within the unity of the two truths. And even for the listener Shravaka Arhats, the Buddha taught the 8 examples of illusion in order to help them recognize that phenomena are without inherent existence. And then for the Mahayana Bodhisattvas, the Buddha taught the 7 ways of appearance, and so the Buddha taught them, and of course in their meditation they are practicing according to the ultimate truth, but even in their post-meditation states when they're interacting with relative phenomena in order to help them recognize that all appearing phenomena are without any inherent existence, the Buddha taught these 7 modes of appearing. And then in the secret mantra tradition, when we are resting in meditation, we're practicing unity of creation and completion stage meditation, and then in post-meditation states we have the 3 ways of carrying our perceptions, and that is that we're supposed to perceive all appearances as the form of the deity, all sounds as mantra, and all thoughts as the deity's wisdom mind. And so really whatever we're doing, whatever practice we're doing, or actually in all circumstances we have to practice and be in such a state that we recognize that everything is the unity of appearance and emptiness at all times. And so that's why we recite this prayer that starts off with Namdrak Riksun at the session breaks and at the end of practice sessions. So when we ring the bell and have a bathroom break during practices, that ringing the bell is to remind us to go to the bathroom with these 3 ways of carrying our perceptions.
좀 내기로 해나 다 사냥도 그줄람 취해나 마찬가지로 탐지 대반 얘기 나로라 마치 왔잖아 요 말했어 취취념 저당이 념는 제기를 념는 맞추디 카페나 알아서 사냥도 그줄람 가리나 탐지 대반 얘기 나로라 마디고 요 말했어.
So when we're practicing and also when we're not trying to do any particular practice, all appearances, everything we experience, none of it is outside the context of the unity of the two truths. If we study, reflect, and meditate as much as we can on emptiness and interdependent origination and the two truths, then our practice will really ripen in a correct way. Among all the Buddhist teachings, the teachings on emptiness and interdependent origination are really an incredible treasury. If we can realize the meaning of this, then it will have really amazing, inconceivably great result. Thank you, that's all I have to say today. Let's please all dedicate the merit of this teaching and listen to this teaching to the benefit of the teachings and beings. Kone gondo